The first qualifying session at Surfers, and Nigel out on wet weather tyres initially. Even though he's spent his whole life around cars and racing, Carl Haas gets nervous and takes his prop everywhere. The Penske pair, Emerson Fittipaldi and Paul Tracy, were both quick. Mario Andretti too. But Nigel was there on the pace, averaging over 100 miles an hour. And eventually he came in after the first qualifying session, quickest of all.
Well, there you have it, the first practice. I think we made history from the transition to from Formula One to the IndyCar. First qualifying session. It's early days yet, but I'd just like to congratulate the crew. I mean, the Newman Haas team have worked superbly, changing the car from this morning to this afternoon. We changed springs and cambers and everything, and you know, the lap was quite special. And as you can see, we're back to the old gear shift here because it takes the tops off your knuckles.
Nobody went quicker in the second qualifying session. Nigel had won the first battle for pole position against Fittipaldi and Tracy, with an average speed heading towards 102 miles an hour on the tight 2.8-mile street circuit. So a first point for a first pole position and a first paycheck. Nigel Mansell, the first driver since 1956 to win pole in his first IndyCar event.
A few more zeros on
As darkness closed in, pit activity at Surfers Paradise continued. It's rare for any racing team to be satisfied even after breaking the qualifying lap record. There's always something extra that needs doing. Under the watchful eye, of course, of the experienced race engineer.
Okay, well, I have the great pleasure now of introducing you to my engineer for the year, Peter Gibbons. These are all the viewers back home in Europe, and Peter is basically responsible for the whole engineering of Red 5. It is very, very impressive how much work is being done. I mean, a lot was taken for granted in Formula One, especially with the active program, because of course you didn't have all these different rockers and springs and bump rubbers and that, and now coming back to this, it actually means a lot more work. I mean, quite impressive. Gearbox has just gone back on again, mainly because I blame it on my thumb today, but I've taken the corners off some gears again. But we're really thrilled. I think Peter's quite happy. We've made some good progress, and Peter and I together have been very brave from the standpoint we're making major changes again with the car tonight and tomorrow. Now, it might well be that it will be the wrong avenue to go down, but I can't tell you specifically what we're doing with the springs, but we're changing the springs, we're changing the aerodynamics, and we're changing a lot of other things as well.
No standing starts in IndyCar racing. It's a rolling start. It takes a special technique. The pace car peels off. Nigel's lack of IndyCar experience told. He'd been caught unawares and was immediately demoted to third. Fittipaldi first, Tracy second. Then in a daring move, Robbie Gordon dived down the inside and Nigel had dropped back another place. But not for long. Mansell gave chase and was soon all over the Californian. There's no finer street racer, and Gordon soon had to give way to Red 5. In the pits, team manager Jim McGee was in radio contact with the car and able to discuss strategy with the driver and crew members. Mansell was on a big charge. After 15 laps, only Fittipaldi ahead of him. Nigel challenging. Brakes locked up, Mansell passed Fittipaldi to take the lead, but unbeknown to Nigel, a yellow flag was out, making overtaking illegal. He was ordered into the pits for a stop-and-go penalty. The team manager quick to respond. Cleverly, the team uses the stop-and-go penalty to change tyres, which were damaged in the manoeuvre. Mansell soon back into the action. Fittipaldi and Gordon screamed into the pits together for tyres and fuel. By lap 30, Mansell had worked his way back to fourth. but Fittipaldi still led. After Fittipaldi made his second pit stop on lap 45, Mansell went to the front and had time to discuss the situation with Jim McGee in the pits.
Not enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. Negative. We have to stop with 10 laps to go. Do you want to change tires at the same time, or do you think the tires will be okay? How many laps to go? How many laps to go? 17 laps to go. Let's stay on these tires. Roger. We'll stay on these tires.
Because of his enforced early pit stop, Mansell's refueling was out of sequence with the other teams. He'd already changed tyres at a second stop, so this, the third, was what's called a splash and dash, putting in just enough fuel to reach the end of the race. Nigel rejoined, still leading, but in the closing stages, the gap to Fittipaldi, who was charging in second, narrowed to just 5 seconds. But Nigel hung on. After 65 tough and torrid laps, he took the checkered flag. It had been a close-run thing. His car spluttered to a halt, out of fuel. Once again, Mansell writing the headlines.
I mean, I wanted to be competitive and I was motivated because I never actually had won in Australia before in my Formula One career. So to sit on the pole and win the race in Australia in the opening event was just something very special again. And then, of course, I don't know what the historical things are in IndyCar. Then to be told it had made history as well was even extra special again.